Hello guys, I'm M. Vijay Kumar here to present FCFS on my assignment on the basis of operating system which has been assigned by my staff. I'm here to talk about first come first survey in operating system. Let's see upon it. Come, let's join in. My title is FCFS scheduling. First of all, before learning what is FCFS scheduling, let's learn about what is meant by schedule is. A schedule is kind of method which is used to distribute or allocate a computing resource usually or a dispatched kind of things are used to kind of flow in a certainty way. It's kind of application oriented and these kind of things are used to balance the kind of loads in the system and ensure equal amount of distribution can be applied or portrayed or according to the set of rules. This ensures the computers are served in the correct kind of requester given by the kind of service, and it is also known as kind of service. Scheduling is also called as service scheduling is also called as scheduling for the delay. As shown in the image, job queues given job given by the and it makes us ready and it allocates by the CPU and execution is completed, which means the execution is allocated and it is when dispatched as an exit server. Device available is the kind of thing. This device queue is a certain waiting time. Now let's see, before jumping into a problematic or real-time situation, let's see what is meant by FCFS scheduling. FCFS stand for first come first serve. Is a kind of operating system schedule algorithm that executes queues requests in order in their arrival. Like first come first serve is on the base of the words you can understand. First come first way. Like the first preference will be given the first priority person who came so served the first one. In this type, the algorithm process are requested by the CPU allocation from the first, as I mentioned before, the allocation will be given the first order and the first predominant method. Okay, the full form of the first come first serve. As a process enter in the ready queue, the PCB, the process control block is ready, is linked, and it decomposes in the queue. Whenever the person in the front side of the thing will be after his work done, it will go to the queue and it starts to again the first come the first serve method. The queue is being allocated in the correct priority manner. As I have shown in the image, new person is the address of the person who's waiting for that, and it gets input statement from the person to allocate his own deed, and even the event is waiting or it is in the queue. You can say waiting or queue, the same ditto, and it gives us a request as a processes, and it is rent and it is being released. The first come and the first is being the first served person, and it is being exists. I have explained the images. Next, let's go on next. Let's see some characteristics of first come and first serve. These kind of first come first serve it suppose non-primitive as well as primitive scheduling, which means it plays a vital role for both primitive as well as non-primitive. So the difference between these won't come like other scheduling algorithm like SJF or round robin. These kind of jobs are always executed in the first sum and the basis of the first serve, which I mentioned in the definition itself. The first being person or being first served person or being the first come. So first priority will be plays a major role in this scheduling algorithm, and these algorithms are so efficient as well as so easy to use. Well, so it is so easy friendly as well as. Let's see this main topic on our advantages of the FCFS. And these methods are a kind of poor in performance because the first person are given the preference other way while other person on the are waiting, so it takes a time as well as it is general wait time management according to this so demanded as well as it is so hicky picky on this CM side, so it takes a bit of time actually. So this kind of is the poor method, as well as this first person is whenever the first person is completed on the base only the waiting persons can be allocated, so it is kind of on the risk or side of it takes time for the secondary for the waiting person or the person who on the queue is as well as we can say. Next upon list, for every setting for every algorithm or for any mission or found things, there will be their own pros and cons or else advantage and disadvantage. Let's see about the advantages of first come and first serve FCFS. Commonly these kind of CPU scheduling algorithm are used to wait the first preference of the first prioritized person. Let's see some key benefits point I have displayed there, like simplicity, eco-friendliness I mentioned before in the slides, and easy for implementation, and sequence integrity, sequence like sequentially they are arranged. The simplicity I have mentioned, it is greatest benefit of ordering scheduling is in the simplicity way because it is so simple as well as easy to understand. Whenever it is so simple to understand or simple to acknowledge it, it automatically plays a major role to the CPU and the end of ourselves. It plays a role actually, and it is so user friendly too, as well as whenever it is so user friendly, in hand any person can allocate, and anyone can calculate their own algorithm order of the simple way, as it is simple also, and it is eco friendly too. So if these two plays a role, and it is deeded to the person of easy to implement, where when that is easy to use, user friendly, as well as it is so simple, then it is so easy to implement wherever you want. No, so these kind of another benefit like simplicity. It is it is easy to implement. What up to me, what I learned, a basic study I have keynoted here. The FCFS algorithm is implemented in FIFOQ in data structure too. It plays a major role in this FIFOQ, and it works well with the processor and I have a long burst time, which has a long burst time are first being served, and they are being allocated, and their queues done, and they waited to finish it. Whenever there is advantage for a code, there will be disadvantage. Let's see some disadvantage of these. These processes are legs execution time suffer. As I before itself mentioned, time management in this are so poor, as well as it is so laggy on a quiet time, because first persons are being preferred as the best, as that the long person who are waiting in the queue are being delayed. At the same time, they are being waiting for a while and while and while, and these results in bound processor. Bound processor like input output statement favors on bound processor, depends upon persons. And the first processor will give a processor, yeah, the same for the script I have mentioned. After the current processor has finished the execution, now suppose first processor has large burst time, the processor has the backside of the person who are waiting as a less burst time. It can't be concentrated, so it take time for the larger processors, and it will go for the next process, which takes a particular difference between the less burst time as well as the big burst time. So these differs in time lagginess and so sequence for this effects which I mentioned, these 3 point effects in the CPU and device utilization. Whenever the CPU and the job queue is being late and late, the device utilization become lower, and it generates the CPU into lower kind of thing. And these results algorithm are results in troubleshooting or troublesome, or in sharing a system with a job queue. It takes time, and the users will get regular intervals like interval break or interval thing, or any controversial process will be played over here. Okay, now let's considering about this advantage as well as disadvantage. Let's see some real-time example and some examples of first come first serve. A well-known good real-time example for this is a movie ticket on a movie ticket counter. In this, how a person's like a person who like a movie ticket, the persons who entered as the first person into a thing, the person is considered to be the first wide ranger to select any seats what he want. Like I want a back seat, or I want a balcony seat, or I want a premium seat, I want a premium suit, or I want a front seat. These person first person are served as a first thing, whereas this person are preferred to be the best one. The person who arrived first in the queue, the first buys the entire ticket on this next one. The next according to the first person's deeds will be graded. But in some cases, when the first person itself buys, his burst time is so high, the secondary person burst time is less. It takes time lagginess. I have mentioned a disadvantage also. So let's consider first person will be preferred to be the getting the best seats around it. By using this algorithm, the CPUs can work similar manner like sorting around manner. Like a tricky picky image I have mentioned that. Next we have let's discuss some problematic examples with this. We have seen our real-time example. A real-time ticket book venue is a good example for a train ticket venue or a kind of airline ticket venue. The first person I prefer, like in airline ticket venue, a first person I prefer to get the first window seat wherever he wants to be. When he is preferring for a business class, he will be the first person to be preferred. When he is preferring for the economy or this, he's going for the back seat. Now we are going to see some exam problem according to it. So let's consider some certain for five processes with the who as given in the first time. Like process can name on the P1, P2, P3, P4, which is birth time of P1 with birth time of P10, P2 of birth time of 1, P3 of birth time 2, P4 process 4 of burst time 1, process 5 of burst time 5. Let's do the Gantt chart of this. If you're doing Gantt chart, like whenever the step 1, for every Gantt chart, the initialized value will be 0. For me, every even the process 1 value is more than 10, initial value of the process will be definitely 0. A 0 is a initializer for the Gantt chart. So let's mark 0 from this. And after a screen in this, as we have mentioned in the screen, the process 1 burst time is 10. The for process 1 being is preferred to be the first preferable thing. So well well, adding the zeroth initializer to the process 1 burst time, which means 10 plus 0 or 0 plus 10 as usual the same. So 0 plus 10 is equal to 10. We get the process P2 value as 10. And next we are going to add up the process value. The process 2 value has burst time of 1, so we get 10 plus 1. The process 1's burst time add up value is 10, so 10 plus 1 is 11. The same for the process 3, process 4, process 5. Let's like a process like 11 plus 2. The process 3 burst time is 2, 11 plus 2 is 13, as well as the process 4 burst time is 1, so 13 plus 4 is 14, as well as the process 5 burst time is 5, so 14 plus 5 equals it's 90. Like that we have calculating our burst time from each ordering, from adding up the bursting time from the backward of the disrupted value. Like but ensure that can chat value initialization should be ever time 0 and should not be starting from the process burst time. So 10 plus 1 is 0 plus 10 is 10, 10 plus 1 is 11, 11 plus 2 is 13, 13 plus 2 is I'm sorry, uh, 13 plus 1 is 14, 14 plus 5 is 19. Oh, sorry for the network connection. Like it goes again 0, 0 plus, it goes to the 0, next it goes to 10. Wait, let me mark on. So like 0, it goes to 10, next it goes to 11, as well as it goes to the next value, so it goes to 4. Like we are adding the value, the entire value divided by 5. So we're getting the values 48. 0 plus 10, 10, 10 plus 11 plus 13 plus 14. We get 48. 48 divided by 5 is 9.6. The same for a turnaround time. From turnaround time, it is like a asynchronous value, which means we are considering the P1 value as 10. So which means I'm marking the red value. Like, wait, yeah. 10 plus 1, 11 plus 1, 13, 13 plus 1. Same, sorry for the box stuffs. So 10 plus 11 plus 13 plus 14 plus 19 divided by 5. So we get 67 divided by 5 is 14. Okay, next let's go to the next slide. Let me conclude my topic. As we have been seen many things. Introduction, what is meant by scheduling, what is meant by SCOM server scheduling, advantage, disadvantage, and some characteristics of scheduling. For everything, there should be a conclusivity. There should be that. So let's see the conclusion of this. After executing some stimulation of FCFS, as we mentioned in the stuffs in the real-time example, the ticket booking avenue is a good example for it. The conclusion, I like to talk the performance, comparing it other algorithm like SJF, round robin. It is so easy to understand, like even child can understand, we can say. It is easy to understand, and in certain complex, it doesn't in certain in complexity issues, it has null complexity issues, and it does not have so much algorithmic stuff, and unlike other algorithms, not complex or like a laggy full or no meaningful lex. So these FCFS is so easy to understand, as well as it has own disadvantage, but while seeking upon the advantage, it is so useful and it is so needed for a person, and it is a deed. When there's a good need, there is a deed. Thank you. Thank you everyone.